stars in the late 70s. I didn't know who he was. After the session, I asked him what invoice, what name do I put on the invoice, and he goes, just put Wawa. And then later on, I found out that I worked with somebody who was like the creator or the inventor of that sound. So you do, you know, in that industry when you move around in LA and you try to get busy like I did. You know, I wanted to work in every studio. I worked in so many studios. That was my mission of life. And then when you do that, you run into some incredible people. I became really close friends with Richard Marx's father, Dick Marx, for a while. I helped him with a few recordings as well. Today's big producer, Damon Thomas, I spent nights and nights working on sound for many, many years like that. And back then, you know, hip-hop was new. We didn't know where it was going to go, but we knew that we had the loudest bass in the industry. That's what we used to laugh about. And I remember taking those tapes to the mastering facility to make records out of them, the vinyls at that time. And the mastering engineer used to say, hey, man, keep your bass down because the needle pops, man, every time I'm mastering your stuff, you know, because of the bass. But we were really proud of it. We thought in the future everybody's going to really like a lot of bass. And that's what ended up happening. You know, everybody loves their bass now.
Right. Sounds like you guys were like the pioneers of the whole movement towards the heavy bass and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, man, I got fired for it from different jobs when I would work in studios who didn't understand the need for that big bass. They would walk in, but we were so adamant about the sound. I always said, look, this is the way I would do it, or I will not do it anymore. You know, this is just how you do it. And then I would saturate on tape as well. Like, for example, I worked on a session with Billy Idol, and I was just the assistant engineer, and the engineer walks in. And he says, hey, just tape up all the meters. So I'm like, what? But yeah, I don't want to see any meters. So we tape up all the meters in the studio on everything so we can't see any levels at all. And then they started recording. And they did the whole session. And after I had to clean it up, you know, reset it all. And a lot of the needles on the tape machines were broken. So they were recording, you know, God knows what levels they were recording, but they were pretty hot enough to break the needles and stuff, you know. So I'm like, So I learned things that way, you know.
Just like trial and error.
Yeah, just what you hear is more of what you hear more than anything else. And then you got to remember what you were hearing at what time, because your hearing is going to change as you grow older and do other things, you know. So you have to remember what state you were in when you recorded or mixed that record. You know, so the easy way out is just keep the vocals up high.
Yeah.